Hello and welcome back to my workshop. I've been looking to try a biscuit jointer, but the biscuit jointers out there seem to be horrendously expensive, and I've been warned by somebody who's tried one not to try the cheap ones because they're not worth the paper that they're written on. So I recently had the opportunity to buy a doweling jig, and second hand, paid I think 30 odd pounds for it. I think I've seen them advertised for about 80 to 90 pounds. This is quite an expensive one. It's advertised as a cabinet making doweling jig because it's not just dowels, it's also like when you're putting together IKEA furniture and you get the likes of these things where you turn the screw and it pulls the cabinet together, and it means that you can actually take the cabinet apart at a later date. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm certainly not going to do that in this video. I might have a go at it, seeing as how I've got the kit to do it. So it comes with some of those, comes with some dowels, comes with some drill bits, various different sizes, and then there's the kit itself. The make is a Chinese make. I think it's WNEW, I think. I've tried googling that. I don't get many hits on it, but there are other European type manufacturers who are basically shipping exactly the same thing, just under a different name. So there's two main parts to the kit that you join together. It's really heavy. It's I guess aluminium, but it's really hefty stuff. Feels well made, well put together. So the idea is that it looks quite complicated, but when you get the hang of the system, it's relatively simple. So I've got two pieces of wood that I want to join at a right angle, and end grain. The end grain part of the join is known for being very difficult to glue with any sort of strength, hence the reason why I want to put dowels in. So the first thing you do is you measure the depth of the piece of wood that you're joining. So that's 19 mils. So then you've got a scale running up here with all the different sizes, and I've got 19 mil there, and you've got A and B depending on which scale you're looking at, and that dictates there's an A and a B there, and the reason for that is that these holes are offset, so you're basically joining it. It's giving you two different sets of widths depending on whether you join it on the A side or the B side. So I'm going to go for 19 mil on the A side, and so hopefully you can still see this. So there's a 19 hole there, and a corresponding 19 hole on the other side. Right. So that then gives us, these are the three holes that you drill through. Depending on what you're doing, at the moment it's set up with 8mm drill holes. If you're doing the furniture bits here, then you apparently put a bigger one in the middle. You put dowel either side, and then you put the joining bit in the middle, which I think is a 10mm. I'm just going to do 8mm all the way across. So you then need, the important part here is a stop. I'll show you how that works in a minute. And you need your drill bit with a stop collar, and they provide an Allen key, but I've got my own. Okay, and I think that's all we need, so that can go away. So the biggest thing I've learned with this is to make sure that you mark your faces of your wood with two things. Firstly, which is going to be the inside, so effectively inside, and also to make sure that these two line up. I put a stop mark on here and a stop mark on there, and the reason for that is that this isn't completely central, and so if you actually get it one way on one piece of wood and one way on the other piece of wood, they just won't line up, and I'll show you that later. So I'm going to put my two pieces of wood secured. Okay, so this stop piece goes into one of these two holes alongside here, depending on which way you're going to present the drill bit. I'm going to put mine in there, and basically what I need to mark is these two faces here are always touching the inside of the box, as it were, the inside of the junction. So I'm going to present my dowel joint like that. I'm going to mark this as the inside, so that's the inside of the joint, and I'm going to mark that I put the stop block at this end, because you can move that stop block to be the other end. It doesn't matter as long as you mark the piece of wood to say which end you've done it. I'm going to put it at that end. So I've marked that I've got the inside here, I've marked that I've got the stop there, and then when I present it over here, because I'm presenting it like that, these two parts are the inside, so that's the inside, and this is the inside, and this is where the stop is. And it's just important later on when you come to line up the two junctions. Okay, so the dowels are, I mean, you can shorten these, but the dowels that they've supplied are 40mm long. So given that the wood is 19mm, I'm going to sink it 10mm into here, and I'm going to sink it 30mm into here. Now this is quite important because you use this stop collar to make sure that you don't drill too far, and what I've done on more than one occasion is forgot to adjust it, so I've drilled 30mm in this one, and I've drilled straight through this one with a 30mm depth as well. So what I always do is I always do the shorter piece first, because you adjust it for that. If you forget to adjust it for here, all that you've done is you've just gone too shallow and you just need to adjust it again, whereas if you do it too deep, if you do it deep here and then deep there, you've ruined your piece of wood. So I'm going to do the shallow one first. So I want this to drill 10mm from the flat part of the drill down 10mm. So to achieve that, put the stop collar on, put it through any of the three dowel holes. Is I make that 10mm deep, push the collar in place, tighten it, check that it hasn't moved, check that it's still 10mm. Yep. Okay, so that's gonna stop when it gets to 10mm. And the way that you fasten this piece is just with one of these general clamps, but it came with the kit. You could use any clamp you feel comfortable with. Okay, nicely snug. It's up against the stop. So I can now drill those three holes. Up. So to move on to this piece. So as I say, if you forgot now to alter your depth, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to have to drill twice, because you're going to drill and you're only going to go 10 mil in, and you'll soon realise your mistake. But actually we want to go 30 mil in. So loosen this collar off. Going 30 mil. Yep. Okay. So this part touching the inside and the stop at this end. It's nice and tight. Okay, so it's nice. So I should now be able to insert the dowels. Okay, so now I should be able to insert the dowels into the bigger hole, deeper hole. I've got inside to stop, inside to stop. Yep. That's a nice joint there, nicely lined up. So once I've glued that up, that's going to be a nice strong joint, much stronger than just end grain to end grain glue. So that I think is going to be it's going to be a pretty good working solution for me. So hopefully that's been a helpful insight as to this particular doweling jig. There are many doweling jigs out there on the market, and this is capable of doing far more than just inserting a few dowels. As I say, it's really more for cabinet making, but I only want it for the dowels for now. Any comments, questions, put them in the section below, and until next time, stay safe.